So today I want to give you a testimony. For a while now, most of you who have been following me faithfully and listening and learning, you've heard me talk about how to create and manifest your dream life using your thought alone. You've been practicing it. I've been talking about theoretical stuff, neuroscience, quantum physics, the emotional homeostasis for manifestation, which is my original idea. I've been giving you all this stuff here and there, and I believe that some of you probably have started to have a stronger understanding about how this thing works. So I want to start giving you some testimonies. I usually don't give testimonies on this channel, and that is because I want you to do the work and practice it for yourself, see that it works, and give me your own testimony. Because sometimes when the host or the teacher gives the testimonies, some of you might think it's made up, it's not true, the person is just using it to get your attention, which is not true. That's the reason why I want you to do the work for yourself. I'll teach you what to do the work, and tell me your testimony. But on a second thought, I know that there are some of you watching me that would really love to hear testimonies, that will be motivated by testimonies. One of my teachers will always say that evidence is the loudest voice. When you have an evidence, it speaks louder than theory sometimes. While some people might doubt testimonies, there are other people that use testimonies as a springboard for their own practice. So I'm going to give you one today, and this is one of mine. We're going to start from just minor things for some of you who are still learning, so that you start from the known to the unknown, from the little thing to the big things. And also, if this inspires you, I want you to also tell me your own story of something you've manifested, or something that came to you by surprise, or a prayer that was answered that shook your world that you want to share. Please share them in the comments. People read the comments, and your comment can change somebody's life. Alright, so here's the testimony for today. A few days ago, my light went out. Electricity went out. And I usually require electricity to do my work, to practice my music, to make my videos, and so many things. So I need light. This was 5 days ago, actually. Now, usually when light goes out like that, it comes back in few minutes, like in 3 minutes, 5-10 minutes stops. It doesn't even get up to 10 minutes, like 5 minutes, 6 minutes, the light comes back. But this one tarried. Throughout the day, we didn't see the light. Now, and when it happens like that, you begin to suspect something is wrong. Throughout the next day, it didn't come. So up to 2 days, there was no light. Like I said, I use light for my work, and I work every day. So I started getting concerned, and I needed to get an alternative. Along the line, while I was thinking of getting an alternative, my creator self began to speak to me. I'm like, okay, is it better to get an alternative or to manifest the light back? And this is how I work. I practice what I teach. I use every little opportunity I have to practice this work, to keep showing myself that this thing is law. It works. It doesn't just work in your health, in money, in relationships, like all these things I always talk about. It works in little things. In fact, studies and practice have shown me that when you start trusting the universe in these little things, it gets your subconscious to believe in the universe so much, because if it can do some of these little things that you don't even think about, it gets easier because these little things are more available. It gives you the opportunity to practice these things every time. So when I ask myself that question, do you want to get an alternative, going out to buy a solar bulb so that you can lighten up your house again and start working? Or do you want to manifest it back? Isn't this an opportunity for you to test this thing again? This is what you're teaching. So when I heard that voice, I said, okay, this is an opportunity, and I'm going to do that. Just by doing that alone, the idea of going to buy a solar bulb collapsed instantly. Why? Because if I'm going to buy, and this is very important, and I want you to listen to this is why these testimonies are powerful. If I go to buy a solar bulb, I'm telling the universe, I'm telling my subconscious that I don't truly believe that the light can come back. I truly believe that the light is out. But remember, in the field, all possibilities exist. There is a possibility in the field. In fact, there are infinite possibilities in the field where the light is still on, where my house is as illuminated as it is right now. As I was thinking about that, there was no light in my house. But that is just a physical reality. There is a myriad of realities in the field where the light never went out. This is making sense? If I went ahead to buy that bulb, I am focusing in on this reality where there's no light, and I'm looking for an alternative just so I can continue working. That is not manifesting what I desire, because my desire is not to have a bulb. My ultimate desire is for the light to come back, or for the light to be there. So that thought alone ignited the creative part of me. I didn't buy the bulb. So what did I do? I left the house, went on with my day. Can you believe by the time I came back that day in the evening, the light didn't come back? That's not what I'm going to say. But the technicians came. They didn't come for 3 days. We didn't have light for 3 days and nobody came. After I made that decision and chose that potential in the field, rehearsed it in my mind, the technicians landed by the evening. I wasn't even in the house. They told me that the technicians came and they traced the problem. They didn't fix the light, but that one happened. Some of you will say it's a coincidence. That is also how the universe works. The universe uses coincidences to work. You hear me say coincidences, serendipities, opportunities, and synchronicities. I call it a synchronicity. It cannot be a coincidence that immediately I did that day and I left, I came back. Those guys came there and they didn't come for 3 days. Now, moving on to the next day, they didn't come in the morning. I went back to my imagination, remembered what I did the previous day, saw that this is a possibility in the field. There is light in my house. I'm still working. Light never left. I saw it clearly, accepted it, not as a suggestion, but as something that is real. Opened my eyes, moved on with my day. By the time I came back, they told me that the light flashed. If the light flashed, that means it has been fixed. They were just testing it. I knew it has been fixed. I've tuned into the frequency of a different timeline where light never left. Around 7 p.m., all the lights in my living room just shined like that because I put them all on. See these tiny little inspired actions, because I knew that once I tuned in, it was going to work. And this time it was not a flash. You see, I shifted into a timeline, into a parallel universe where the light was on. And that is how I manifested the light back. And it wasn't just in my building. Other houses were also affected. It's the phase that was bad. They came and fixed it. The light came for everybody. Can you see that? Share with me in the comments what you learned from this story. And also share with me in the comments your own manifestation or your own answered prayer, if you want to say it that way. Answered prayer, manifestation is the same thing. But notice what I did not do. And these are the things that block the manifestation. I did not go and buy an alternative solar bulb. I thought about it, but I didn't go through with it. I will have to accept the reality I am in, that it was real, before buying that bulb as an alternative. But I rejected it. I didn't sit with it. I knew that there was a reality where the light was still on. By not buying it, I moved my consciousness to that one. Nothing is tying me to this one again. By law, the light must come. 2, I didn't call any technician. And it's not my job to know how they came. The universe is going to move things around to match what I am assuming in my consciousness. So I didn't make any call. I didn't struggle. 3, I did not complain. I didn't say, this power company, now that I need the light most, why must they take this light? I didn't do that. I just went inward, made the assumption within me, and made it strong and held it that way. I'll hold it, I'll release it, I'll hold it, I'll release it. I released it finally, and the lights came. So this is the testimony for today. Let me know what you learned from this story. Hold that state of already having your desire. Don't flinch. Irrespective of what's happening in your physical world, by holding the state of already having your desire, you're moving your consciousness from the current situation of your life, which is the absence of what you want, into the version of your life where what you want already is there. You're not creating it from scratch. You're just shifting your consciousness. As you're going there, as you stay there, do not complain. Do not act in such ways that will suggest to the universe that you've come back to that old reality. Keep staying there. I hope you enjoyed this one. I enjoyed this myself when the lights came on. And one thing about this work is that no matter how much you've had these kinds of experiences, it always surprises you. You never get used to it. The universe will always keep surprising you, even if you've had it 1 million times. Help me share this video. It's going to change somebody's life. And don't forget to share with me what you've experienced in your own life, your manifestations and your prayer answered, and what you learned in this video. Also, don't forget to share what you're grateful for, even if it's one thing. I'll talk to you in the next one.